Three Men and a Comic Book is absolutely fabulous and maybe one of my favourite Simpsons episodes. This is the 21st episode of the second season, directed by Wesley Archer, and this aired originally in May of 1991. And it starts off with Marge taking Lisa and Bart to a comic book convention, and that gives us some really awesome animation, people dressed up in different costumes. There's a little child dressed up as a little Krusty the Clown, which is adorable. All kinds of geeky references that I love, and a lot of fans of The Simpsons are going to really enjoy as well. But the crux of the narrative revolves around a comic book, and this comic book is being sold for $100. So Bart does some jobs to try and get the comic book. He works for an elderly lady who is eccentric, to put it nicely, and you can really see the stress of his labours and how much is getting to him and how much he desperately wants this comic book. And I think we've all been there at some point in our lives, usually as children, when there's something we really want but it's really expensive and our parents obviously won't get it for us. So we have to try and earn some extra cash and, resist the temptation of spending it as soon as we get it. Definitely relatable in that sense, but also if you are a collector, there will be that holy grail. That one item that you need in your collection. And for Bart, it's this comic book. And I won't say any more than that. I feel like IMDb's description spoils a little bit of what happens, but I will say it's a tale of sharing and realising what's actually important when it comes to friendship. And I think it does that very well. For me, it is just a geek fest. I absolutely love it. They could have put a little bit more in there. I just wish they'd spent longer at the convention. I would have loved that. But I loved seeing the comic book pages. I loved how they'd edited the comic books into the main narrative. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. And honestly, as I said, it might be one of my favourites. I don't know if it's my absolute favourite, but certainly I absolutely adore it and would happily include it in a top 5. The narrative speaks to me on every level, and even just little details with the animation, things like how clever the flash of lightning looked when Marge asked Homer to check on the boys. The way he did that I thought was brilliant. Marge's raincoat with the gigantic hood I absolutely loved. Just so many little things that made it really fabulous. I absolutely adore Three Men and a Comic Book.